But in this context, I thought of highlighting some key concepts of academic writing for undergraduate students, our students at King Abdulaziz University. And let's look at the objectives. So the today's objective by the end of this workshop, um, attendees and participants, our students will be able to identify key concepts framing academic writing, and hopefully, inshallah, they will be able also to implement some norms, conventions, guidelines, rules to comprehend their written assignment or writing assignments in their departments, in their colleges, and also raise their awareness of adopting academic writing style. So I thought of this again because um, out of my experience about the students who are joining ELI, and maybe now they are joining colleges or schools, um, they write and they produce some kind of written text, but they do not know whether this is an academic writing or general writing. What type of writing is it? So I thought of sharing these key concepts because I believe if you know what you are doing, you will do it better. So that's why I thought of this topic. Let's look at the outline and the contents we have for today's workshop. We'll be looking at briefly at school writing and university writing, and I'll be introducing some key concepts, and I call this part understanding academic writing. And then we'll be looking at text types and academic text organization. How do we organize these different types of texts? And then we'll be looking at the key issue of today's presentation is features of academic writing. The rules and, as I said, conventions, obligations, what they must do, the students should do what, they should not do what, these kind of rules and, let's say, conventions. And then we'll be looking at academic text and innovative technology, and this is one of the key issues nowadays, let's say trendy issues, that we're using technology in academic writing, and what are the regulations that we should follow, and how would we use technology in academic writing. And this also will be briefly mentioned. And lastly, um, we'll be looking at some strategies for improving academic writing skills. This part is mainly as a kind of advice for our participants. And I have some summary and 4 questions to recap our today's presentation. Um, let's look at the first part, which is school writing and university writing. In brief, um, differences between school writing and university writing. Do you think that there are some like big differences between school writing and university writing? What do you think? Okay, okay, okay. Yes, yes. Well, yes, yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, at university level, let's say we are just have international standards and rules that we have to apply, and the the expected outcome of our written text at university is higher than what. Yes, thank you, Marie. Yes, advanced. Yeah, that's why. Yes, the expected written text is higher at university, and at university, the information provided or written information, they're not only for absorption, not only just to internalize, to immerse this information, but also to criticize, to challenge, to question this information. So, thank you so much. This is maybe key issues. And one more thing, that the purpose of written text in higher education at university level is different than that we have at school level. For example, at university, we have some kind of assessments. We write for assessments. You are required to submit an assignment, a written assignment. You are required to reflect, maybe in some disciplines, um, on your own progress, or to evaluate a course and so forth. Yes, yes, thank you so much. Critical thinking, exactly. So, at university level, we are not only looking at grammar, spelling, punctuation, and this kind of linguistic. Yes, yes, right, right. Thank you so much. I agree. But also we focus on the content, because as now I have varied contexts. You are from different levels, of course. You are from different specialists. You are from yes, thank you so much. Yes, you are from different backgrounds. So it's not only a matter of grammar, punctuation, and but we're looking at the content as well. Let's look at the key concepts of understanding academic writing. So, uh, the purpose of academic writing is different. The audience are different. The text type and the structure. Well, we based on what we had at school, right? Um, but we move on to a higher level, as you mentioned, because we just look at this as accumulation of knowledge. But now we try to focus or raise the awareness of um, the students, or um, the beginner writers, to the new conventions and the rules and the global standards. That's why we need to look at the purpose. We need to be aware of, why do we write? Do we write to inform, present information, for example? Do we write to contribute? Do we write to persuade, to entertain? Why do we write? We need to um, understand the purpose of your writing of a written text? Do you write, for example, a summary where you present? Do you write fact sheet, for example, where you present information to inform the reader? Would you contribute to some kind of activities or let's say projects in your specific field of study? Uh, will you write a persuasive essay? What are you writing actually? So we need to be aware of these kind of purposes. Will you write a story for entertainment? Will you evaluate a film or let's say a story or a video? What are you exactly have in mind when you're writing? Who are your audience? To whom do you write this? So now the audience are different than that we have at the school. At the school, you're just writing for teachers, maybe. But here, because it is a little bit different kind of context, teachers could read, students, other students could read your writing, professors, academics, scholars, experts, if you are thinking of global community of academic writing. So what type of writing or type of text are you writing? So according to what we have now, with this variety of disciplines and variety of specializations, we write different types of writing. It's not only, as I mentioned, a paragraph or an essay, but we write different type of writing. So moving from type of writing, how would you write this? What are the formats? What is the structure of this kind of text? Okay, so these are key issues, key concepts that we need to bear in mind when we're thinking about academic writing. Let's now look at okay, um, let's let's take all these questions to the end. Okay, we'll be having some time for questions, and you can, if you have any comments, you can add. Okay, so I will look at text type now. What are the text type at university level? Well, for ELI students, we could start at A level, or beginners, we could start with a paragraph, or even writing sentences, and then we move to writing essays. It could be writing reports, and for beginners, we have these short reports about routine, for example, and it begins like that. Yes, thank you, Dr. Kamal. And it could be an article, a higher level of writing. It could be articles, research articles for publication, or it could be an article um, for students to read and to see a variety of writing in their reading. For example, for students who are studying English for academic purposes, science students, uh, they have some sort of articles presented in their books to show them how information could be presented in this way. Articles, reviews, and A-level student can write reviews, but the reviews that they are writing could be kind of informal reviews, not academic reviews. By academic reviews, I mean some kind of making review of a book, for example, or making review of theories, different kind of theories in your field of study. Well, it could be a proposal of a research paper for requirements of maybe a degree. So these are examples of type of text. How would we organize them? How would we organize, let's say, how would we organize paragraphs? And I will be looking at paragraph level and essay level um, during this presentation. Let's see how we organize this kind of um, writing. Um, text organization, and here we mean a structure. How would we structure this? Um, as you can see, um, texts have different ways of structures of writing. Based on the journal, what I mean by the journal is what I mentioned previously as reports, for example, lab reports for students in science, and for example, essays, assignments, articles. All these are different types of journals or different types of texts. And also, we have to consider course requirements. What do they ask you to do in this specific field? If you, for example, if you look at the paragraph level, um, for essays, let's say, paragraph level, any paragraph should constitute of a topic sentence, supporting sentences, and a concluding sentence. And then we develop this idea into an essay, where this paragraph, where I give you the example of a paragraph level, topic sentence, supporting sentence, and sentences, and a concluding sentence as the developers in an essay, is one of the developing paragraphs in an essay. So it's not an introduction. If you look at the example of an introduction, then the introduction is a little bit different than the body paragraph, where you can see a topic sentence, background information, and then what is so-called thesis statement, which is quite different than the topic sentence. The thesis statement, which is for essays, for A level, let's say moving to B level, we recommend students to write the thesis statement as the final statement in their introductions. And then from this thesis statement in the essay, then you can write your body paragraphs. If you have 1 point per thesis statement, then you will write 1 body paragraph, 2 thesis statements, 3, you develop paragraphs accordingly. So the last part of the examples we have here, the essay where we have the introduction, developers, and um, the conclusion. Okay. So now we have this frame, let's say, of organizing our academic texts. So what do we do? What do we do? How do we apply these kind of rules and conventions and what is so called as yes, features and characteristics? How would we apply them on our written text, paragraph level, essay level, or whatever type of academic writing we looked at? But mainly we are looking at paragraph level and essay level. In academic features, I grouped them. I like this way of grouping. As I said, different presenters in different workshops, they group them differently. But I like this one. Language and style, and The second part, focused structure. These are characteristics, features. And the third one is evidence-based. Language and style, formal, the language, the style should be formal, should be objective, should be precise and consistent. We'll be looking at them one by one. And what do we mean by focused and structured? We'll be looking at organization once more. How do we organize and how do we apply these kind of rules? And what do we mean by evidence-based, which is sourced? Okay, what do we mean by this? If you look at the first one is um, formality. What do we mean by formality? Formality is using standardized language, vocabulary, using more technical vocabulary, using formal verbs, not informal verbs, not common verbs, not common vocabulary, using full forms, not using these short forms, for example, especially when we have verbs like verbs to have, verbs to do, verbs to be. These kind of verbs we can make contraction in general English, but here in academic English, in academic writing, sorry, we use full forms. And also we use subject specific vocabulary. If you are in engineering college, you need to use this vocabulary, specific vocabulary. If you are in the science field, in the let's say medical field and so forth, um, you need to use formal vocabulary. And for formal vocabulary, you can just consult the online academic word list, and it is very helpful, and you can make use of the synonyms and the phrases provided here. And one more point for formality is to use formal structure of grammar, where grammar is very, very crucial here. What we mean by formal grammar is that you have type of sentences. Your writing should not be a string of simple sentences, but you vary the structure. You need to use compound sentences, complex sentences, noun phrases, verb phrases, and eliminate some kind of informal um, um, noun phrases or informal like verb phrases, idiomatic, yes, right, idiomatic expressions. So we reduce this kind of use. And we have here an example of formal verbs. Let's see. Um, match formal verbs to the context. Just 1 minute, read these six examples and provide the formal verbs, noun phrases. Yeah, formal verbs here: facilitate, consider, establish, assess, analyze, and evaluate. Where would you use them? Okay, number two, one, evaluate. Okay, two, okay, thank you. Three, we'll look at the language. The language, the surrounding verbs will help you, the words, sorry. Okay, thank you so much. Now look at this. So this is what we mean by formal verbs: analyze, assess, consider, facilitate, evaluate, establish. Now this is what we call formal language. If you look at this one, this is what we call informal language and informal vocabulary. For example, instead of using like, use such as, similar to. Instead of using large or big, you can use considerable, substantial. Instead of using long, extensive, get rid. And these kind of phrasal verbs and particles are not um, allowed in academic writing. Um, we use elevated language, advanced, as you mentioned, one of you here. And instead of saying very, you can say highly, exceptionally, and so forth. So this is what we mean by formal. Another feature is objective. What do we mean by objective is to be fair and avoid bias. This is the second one. You do not favor one point over the other, one idea over the other. So this is how you will be fair and unbiased. By doing so, you avoid using personal pronouns, and your writing should be based on facts and evidence. Okay, so yes, right. For some essays, I agree. For some essays, you need to provide your own point of view, but in academic style, well, you have to be, you have to present it in a balanced way. And some exceptions are for science students, as I've written here. They can use these personal pronouns, we, for example. And in reflective writing also, yes, passive, yes, passive is used. Yes, in reflective writing, it is allowed to use this kind of personal pronouns. For example, these are some examples for A-level students. Let's say, I will show, I will write. um, Better to write it this way, to be more academic in this report, this issue, or this essay, and so forth. Um, Another feature of academic writing is being precise and concise. How do we maintain this? By avoiding vague terms, using specific language, avoid flowery language, um, and stay brief to the point, stay clear, so as your writing is easy to be understood. Avoid repetition and redundancy. If it is um, difficult for you to make it simple, cut it, just cut it. So make this kind of flowery language where you can say you are showing you showcase your vocabulary and your skills, and you're using this kind of structures and complex words to show that you are skillful and talented in writing. And this is not the case. The case is to present your idea in a simple way, to convey your message in a clear way. So that's why we avoid this flowery language. So your writing should be engaging. It should be understood. Let's look at these examples. Many things affect climate change. The first one and the second one: in a situation where the weather is extreme, the event will be postponed until a late date. How can we, let's look at the first one. What one word you could change to make your writing, yes, to make your writing or this statement precise and concise? One word. By precise, I mean you can just convey your message um, uh, using few clear words instead of giving this sort of long, complicated sentence. What do you think of many things affect climate? How can I change it? How can I change it? What could I say to avoid this kind of vagueness, to be clear, specific about my point? Can I say, for example, the first one? Can I say many factors affect climate? Yes, yes, right. Yes, variables, right. Factors, right. The second one. What could you do with the second one if you want to cut off some words and make it short to the point? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you so much. So you could say, as Yusuf said, it is just the event will be postponed in extreme weather. Thank you so much, Yusuf. Thank you all. Another example is, look at this. It could be an example of flowery language, an example of impreciseness. Um, it could be an example of using um, informal verbs. So look at this example. Read it. Yes. Thank you so much, Ahmed. Yes. Yes. Read this example. We're still looking at precise and concise as one of the most problematic areas for beginner writers and for our students, A level and A1, maybe A2 levels. So if I ask you to just highlight some common verbs or yes, yes, right, right. What else? A lot of. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Good. So let's, yes, let's look at this one now. Huh? What do you think of this one? Can you see getting worse here? Can you see going on? This kind of phrasal verbs or um, this kind of imprecise language quite a long time. Can you see it here? So this is a version of academic text, written precisely and concisely. Thank you so much. So this is what I mean by this kind of style. This is what we need to see in our writing. Okay. Well, for our A level students, it is not required to mention this kind of citation. I will mention this later, but again, we need to present some facts like this figure, like this number. So don't go vague, go precise, don't use informal language and language like all over the time. So you have to be precise and concise. Let's look at one more feature of academic uh, writing. Yes, you do not use phrasal verbs. Um, Consistent. What do we mean by consistent here? It's just you need to use the harmony of features. That means all the throughout the text, you need to unify your style. You need to go formal for all kind of um, verbs or nouns or structure you are using, and the concepts and the tense you are using throughout the text should be unified and should be related to each other. Should, I mean, relevance, harmony, are common features of academic writing. So it is you have to go with one rhythm of writing, and you should have no discrepancies on your writing and no contradictions. Use one type of style, use formal language. You go from the first point of your writing till the end, maintain this kind of harmony. Um, Abbreviation, full forms and abbreviations, you need to think about this because we are from different specialists, as I said, and of course most of you are using abbreviations. For example, if I say English for academic purpose, EAP, before I write and explain what is EAP, I could misunderstood. It could mean something else. So be clear about your abbreviation. Mention the full form and then the abbreviated form followed or following this full form. When defining, for example, when explaining, for example. So abbreviation, you have to be clear about the definition of this abbreviation and the full forms you use. The citation and the referencing style should be unified, should be all over the all through the text. Will be one style. If you are using APA, for example, go through the text using a APA style. Formatting. If you are using a certain numbering system, if you are using certain spacing in your writing, and these are conventions and regulations used by the departments, by the your own um, college. So there are regulations specific to this college. There are common regulations we have to follow, and even spelling and punctuation. So we need to be clear about we need to be using them harmonically. So do not jump from one style to another. So this is what we mean by consistent. Focused and structure is another characteristics of academic writing. And focused on structure, we mean the development of ideas. And one paragraph should have one main idea. Other ideas are supporting this paragraph, revolving around this point. So each paragraph should discuss one point at a time. We should not include 3 4 ideas in one paragraph. This is what we mean by unity. And there should be logical progression of ideas moving from one point to another. Each paragraph, how it is linked to the other paragraph. For example, if you have introductions and conclusions, how do they link? How do we link? We usually say, well, conclusion is a mirror image of introductions and so forth. How do they link together? And how do we look at the topic sentence, how it is developed, and then go certain into the thesis statement, where we provide our main issue of our writing. And then your writing should be coherent and cohesive. What do we mean by coherent and cohesive in structuring our writing? Is your ideas should be logically connected. Uh, Paragraphings and sections, subsections should be clear in your essays and your extended essays, in your reports. Headings and subheadings should be clear. And then we should use linking words and transition signals. Um, yes, we should have main idea, right? And linking words and transition signals. For example, referencing words. Very simple reference word can make a big change in your writing, and it will enhance readability of your text. So these are some examples of cohesive devices where we can see references and their examples. Uh, you can think of these references a very very simple thing, but they make sense. They make sense and they enhance your readability of your text. And other phrases like the former, the later, and so forth. Another example of cohesive devices is using transition signals and their functions. Of course, we do not forget to mention that meaning makes sense. The job of each and every transition in a sentence makes sense, and it strengthens your writing. For example, these are some examples of using transition signals and also linking words. We do not forget to mention our fanboys. This for A-level students and A1 or A2. Even for us, sometimes we need to use these fanboys in our writing. One more point, which I think this is the last one, is our writing should be evidence based. What we mean by evidence based is using a citation. Maybe for you at this level, we can say you need to cite. You need to cite. What do you mean by citation? That we are using different type of styles of writing. Our references. Citations we mean references. If it is in the text, if it is a list of references and so forth. Why do we cite? We cite to avoid plagiarism. So for different practices of plagiarism with different reasons can take place and occur in our writing for at all level, regardless of our levels of writing. Plagiarism can take place accidentally, intentionally, or unintentionally. So how would we avoid this? Paraphrase and cite. You do not paraphrase without citing. Summarize and cite. You do not make a summary without citing. And quote and cite. So citation is number one. You have to cite. You have to say that where did you get this information from? Last point, maybe followed by my own advice, is using this AI tool. And you have this list of the AI tools, and we cannot now, by now, we cannot say we are not using one or two or um, some of them or all of them, let's say. For example, Grammarly, Quillbot, they have similar features for paraphrasing and for checking grammar, your style of writing, and so forth. Safe-assign, copycat, they are for detecting uh, plagiarism. Text summarizer is, I think this is for Scribr. This is from Scribr. Um, um, Refer right is academic phrase bank and also plagiarism um, checker. Zetro, Mendeley, EndNote, I think they have similar feature and they are all related to referencing. You can use them for referencing in your text and Rightful also gives feedback on your language. Lastly, last but not least, ChatGPT. This is I mean ChatGPT does everything and anything. But again, you need to be careful about using all these kind of AI tools because you make control over your text. Except for detectors, plagiarism detectors, especially for ChatGPT, you give instructions, specified, precise, clear instructions, and then you will get what you want. But you cannot cite ChatGPT again, unless otherwise it is required in a certain type of writing and yes, and essays maybe. Well, it depends on the requirements of your course in your specific field. The strategies for improving academic writing, this is my advice, and I'm just doing this for the sake of do not neglect reading. Um, Everything IA or AI, sorry, will do everything and anything, but you should read and understand. It's not only relying on AI. Read and make notes, make summaries, and practice writing. If you do not practice writing, you won't be able to write. Follow process for writing. Edit, proofread, and this is very, very important. And this is my advice. Coming to the last point, which is um, the questions. And this is two questions here, and the two questions in the next slide. What do you think of this? Now we have some kind of brief information about academic writing in general, and thank you. Yes, thank you so much. This is number one. What about number two? Um, the structure of academic paper. Okay, no personal, no catchy introduction, clear thesis statement. Thank you so much. Let's look at the next one. And in academic texts, citation are necessary because they make the paper long, provide evidence, add personal opinion, make writing more interesting. Okay, okay, thank you so much. Yes, exactly, right. So provide evidence. And the last one, which of the following is not a characteristic of academic tone? Objective and impersonal, technical vocabulary, high emotional language, formal structure. Yes, right. Yes, see. Thank you so much. Highly emotional language is not a feature of academic writing. And again, this is my, I mean, thank you so much. Yes, Ahmed, thank you. So this is again a summary, just a quick summary. Use varied structure, simple compound sentences. Use formal vocabulary. No idiomatic expression, no contractions. Always full form. Be specific, no ambiguity. Use linking words. Avoid using um, um, so on etc in lists. Do not number pages, paragraphs. Sorry. Avoid plagiarism. Cite, cite, and cite. Thank you so much. And now you are welcome. We have 5 minutes to go. You can ask your questions now. This is the list of the references. And thank you so much. Yes, Dr. Kamal, thank you so much. I was just briefly mentioning this information to give to highlight these key concepts.
Thank you so
Yes,
much, Dr. Taher. MashaAllah, as usual. And it was a great, valuable, informative, interactive, very interactive workshop. And I would like to ask all the participants who really enriched the interaction element of the workshop by their answers and questions and interaction, mashallah. Uh,
yeah, we should thank them. We should thank them. Thank
yes.
you so much.
And actually, to you, Dr. Zainab, you should know that about 2,000 people registered in your workshop, mashallah. But it was open for only 250 because if we open it for more than 250, the chat box will be cancelled, and we badly need the
Thank
chat
you.
box. So, mashallah, it
Thank you
was a
so much.
great and a great record, mashallah. And
Thank you so
if
much.
you look at the number of participants, even mashallah, it
Thank
exceeded
you.
220 this time, mashallah, tabarakallah. Thank you, Dr. Zainab, again. Thank you, all participants, for your interaction, which is really
Thank
enriching
you,
our
Khalid.
workshop. Thank you very much.
I'm
Uh,
really
I
thankful to all of you.
thank you very much. I posted the feedback link for those who are interested in getting certificates, and I posted the YouTube channel for those who are interested in our previous recordings. Inshallah, our next workshop will be next week on the 7th of October between 10 and 1 p.m. and online. It is going to be about similarities and differences in evaluative language in postgraduate Arabic and English discussion chapters, and it is going to be presented, inshallah, this time by Dr. Sumaya Al-Katami. Enjoy it.
But by the way, there is one point raised by one of the participants saying
Uh-huh.
that why are we giving this in English and not in Arabic? Thank you for answering the question. One point I would like to add is that also in Arabic we have regulations for academic writing, and we call it al-kitab al-ilmiya. We have this. So
Exactly.
this is for English, and that is for Arabic. So both of them they are serving in the same field of academic writing, whether in Arabic or English.
Absolutely.
So
Yes, you're right.
yes, yes.
MashaAllah, mashallah. Thank you, Dr. Zainab. Thank you, all
Thank
participants,
you,
and
Dr. Kamal.
inshallah,
Thank you so
thank
much.
you very much. You're welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Goodbye and see you.